Hello, today I would like to present to the judge about our research. First of all, our research topic is analysis of structural relationships among college freshmen, self-understanding, self-direction, learning competency, and problem-solving ability. I am a corresponding author and presenter, Ju-kyoung Kim. I studied education administration and higher education, and I'm currently working in Kookmin University in Korea. Another collaborator is Jong-Teak, and he is a doctor who studied educational engineering. He also works at a university in Korea and is an expert in teaching and learning development. Our contents is 5 steps. 1. Introduction. Second, theoretical background. Third, research method. Fourth, research result. Fifth, conclusion. First is introduction. In recent years, universities are moving away from the past passive and limited knowledge transfer laws and are becoming specialized educational institutions that help students grow and success. In the past, college admission was a very competitive process, and college freshmen was a limited qualification that was only allowed to those who passed the severe competition. University gates are still open only to those who have passed high competition, but recently universities do not only teach students knowledge of their majors, but supports students to truly grow and develop their capacity to succeed in society through the university's curriculum. When freshmen enter college for the first time, they don't know what to do or what they can do, and most of all, they often lack an understanding of themselves. But often, freshmen aren't ready to grow up yet. This is because Korean college freshmen are people who have only studied competitively to enter college and have little opportunity to understand themselves. Therefore, it is very important for a freshman to understanding himself or herself. Going from high school to college is a huge change in the environment for students, and it is a time when new determination and adaptability are required. We need people who guide and these changes well. In particular, it is necessary to pay attention to cause of difference in adaptation among new college students, and in order to more effectively approach college life adjustment, it is important to understanding the various problems and stresses they experience and to understand the process of adaptation to college life. To solve this problem, colleges are implementing various programs such as learning support, career counseling, and surveys to help new students adjust to college life. In particular, it is not an exaggeration to say that the first year of college life is the time to adjust to the new environment of college. and established values are the decisive time for the maintenance and success of entire college life. This phenomenon is acting as a motive for development of a customized program that can make use of the diverse personality of students by developing educational programs that fit the vision and talent of college through teaching and learning courses for new students. This is a response to current social demands and a preparation for the future. Therefore, in this study, the study was conducted with the aim of maximizing the period of time for new students to adjust to college life and to find a way to reduce the dropout rates of new students. Is the ability to adapt to college by expanding their major and exploration opportunities. To this end, four variables were selected: self-understanding, self-direction, learning competence, and problem-solving ability, and tried to empirically investigate the structural relationship and influence between the variables. Self-understanding, which allows new students to properly recognize their inner states. Self-direction, that includes the intention and will to carry out various activities required in college life. And actively carrying out the studies that must be carried out in college life. The relationship between learning competence, which is the ability to do, and problem-solving ability of finding a way to effectively cope with the last problem situation is examined. And the mediating effects between self-direction and learning competence is verified. We intend to prepare basic data to prepare lifestyle adaptation and success measures. Second, theoretical. Next is theoretical background. First, self-understanding. In order to become a mature human being, self-understanding must precede and the power to overcome anxiety and conflicts along with confusion of self-identity of college students can be said to come from self-understanding. If you understand and accept yourself as you are, others will be able to understand it and your self-esteem will increase. And your interpersonal relationships will be smoother. Self-understanding is a gateway to self-growth. As such, the level of self-understanding of college freshmen is closely related to the formation of competencies required in college life, in that self-understanding has a great influence on the perspective of life and individual lives. Second, self-directness. Self-direction refers to the psychological characteristics of a learner, such as the learner's attitude, values, and competencies that actively lead learning, and encompassed not only the learner's personality aspects, but also self-directed learning attitudes and behaviors. Are doing today, the ability to learn based on self-direction has become a major survival method in which the knowledge and skills necessary to face the challenges of society in an increasingly complex and rapidly changing era. Self-initiation in learning is the learning process and results in which the learner has a passion for learning and controls and manages the learning situation by harmonizing their learning situation and environment with their emotional and cognitive learning ability. It can be defined as reference 5. Third, learning capability. Learning capability. Yang viewed learning competency as an individual ability to achieve successful academic achievement through learning activities, and said that high learning competency means that high academic achievement can be achieved. Learning competency is an ensure that colleges students comprehensive. Second chapter is theoretical background. First, self-understanding. In order to become a mature human being, self-understanding must precede and the power to overcome anxiety and conflict, along with the confusion of self-identity of college students, can be said to come from self-understanding. If you understand and accept yourself as you are, others will be able to understand it and your self-esteem will increase and your interpersonal relationships will be smoother. Self-understanding is the gateway to self-growth. As such, the level of self-understanding of college freshmen is closely related to the formation of competencies required in college life, in that self-understanding has a great influence on the perspective of life and individual lives. Second, self-directedness. Self-direction or self-directedness is referred to the psychological characteristics of the learner, such as the learner's attitude, values, and competencies that actively lead learning. Encompassed not only the learner's personality aspects but also self-directed learning attitudes and behaviors. Today, the ability to learn based on self-direction has become a major survival method in which the knowledge and skills necessary to face the challenges of society in an increasingly complex and rapidly changing era. Self-initiation in learning is the learning process and results in which the learner has a passion for learning and controls and manages the learning situation by harmonizing their learning situation and environment with their emotional and cognitive learning abilities. Third, learning capability. Learning capability viewed learning competency as an individual's ability to achieve successful academic achievement through learning activities, and said that high learning competency means that high academic achievement can be achieved. Learning competency is ensure that college students comprehensively and accurately recognize learning styles, such as cognitive abilities, learning motivations, and learning behaviors relate to their learning and their characteristics appropriately interact with the environment and learning contents in the learning context. Hurting RL is the ability of individuals to overcome their own problems in the process of life. As for the learning competencies of college students, cognitive ability, self-directed ability, social communication ability, motivation. It is said that it is tendency acquired in process of learning, such as attitude toward. First, problem-solving ability. Problem-solving ability is a process of exploratory and cognitive problem-solving that follows the target states by discovering new problem-solving solutions by applying already learned rules. In other words, it is defined as the ability of solvers to clarify the problem in the situation facing the problem, to develop alternatives through the cause analysis of problem, and to systematically manage the pain and evaluation research to implement it. At the learning level, problem-solving skills are considered to be problem-solving actions such as knowing clearly what knowledge is necessary for problem solving in situation where problem solving is necessary, and freely accessing the knowledge and applying problem solving skills excellently. In the college's teaching and learning process, these problem-solving behaviors can be defined as learning-related behaviors that students perform to solve problems. Next is research method. 3.1 Research model and hypothesis setting. Research variables were assumed through consideration of previous studies, and structural relations between variables were analyzed. This study examines how self-understanding affects problem-solving ability for new college students and verifies the mediating effects of self-direction and learning competence in the relationship between these two variables. The research question proposed for analysis are follows. Research problem 1 is, what is the structural relationship between college freshmen self-understanding, self-direction, learning competency, and problem-solving ability? Research question 2 is, what effects does the self-understanding of college freshmen have on their problem-solving ability? Research question 3 is, do college freshmen self-direction and learning competency mediate self-understanding and problem-solving ability? 3.2 is data collection and variable measurement. To achieve the purpose this study, the self-understanding, self-direction, learning ability, and problem-solving ability were measured for college freshmen. The subjects of this study were freshmen at College A. Among the 2,860 respondents, the gender distribution was 1,464 male students and 1,396 female students. The distribution of major was 1,105 in humanities and social science and 1,229 in science and engineering and 526 in arts and sports. The operational definition and measurement method of variables used in this study are as follows. Self-understanding refers to how well you know and understanding your own characteristics. And it is a concept that includes internal and external factors that influence various decisions required in college life. In this study, in order to measure the self-understanding of college freshmen, the research tool of Bak Sun-hwa referred to Lim et al. A total of 4 items were selected as measurement tools, such as I know what I like and I know what's the good about my personality. The tool is Chromba Alpha is 0.725. Self-direction, defined as a psychological characteristics of the learner, such as the learner attitude, values, and competency, who actively lead learning, is regarded as a core competency necessary for college freshmen to pioneer career paths. This study defines self-direction for college freshmen as the ability to take the lead in series of processes by setting and implementing specific plans to set and achieve goals for life on their own, evaluating the results and reflecting them in next plan. In order to measure this, the tools of Lee et al. Were modified and supplemented to suit the purpose of this study. A total of 4 items were selected as measurement tools, such as I believe that I have the ability to plan my own life and I proceed according to my plan. This tool, Chrome Alpha, is 0.749. Learning competency, the ability to connect new learning contents with existing knowledge or understanding and understand it to relevance, which means expanding information to make learning more meaningful. In other words, in order to better understand the learning contents, new information is combined with previously known information to form a specific inner relationship, leading to long-term memory. In this study, Park's tool was modified and supplemented to fit the purpose of this study to measure learning competency. When I study, I took for a relationship between what I know so far and what is new. A total of 4 items such as think how the concept can be applied in the field were adopted measurement tools. This tool, Chrombar Alpha, is 0.795. And next, problem-solving ability. Problem-solving ability can divided into ability to find problems and ability to solve problems, and is defined as the ability to find new problems in unstructured problem situation, create various alternatives, and form optimal solution. In this regard, in this study, the tools of Lee and others were modified and supplemented to suit the purpose of this study, to measure the problem-solving ability of college freshmen. A total of 4 items were selected as measurement tools, such as I grasp the core of the problem well, even if a complex problem is given, and I cope without panic when an unexpected problem occurs. This tool, Chrombar Alpha, is 0.79. Chapter 4 is research results. 1. Technical statistics. To find out the general trend of latent variables, the means, standard deviation, maximum, minimum, skewness, and kurtosis were calculated and presented in Table 1. The average of each variable is self-understanding mean is 3.97. Self-direction mean is 3.44. And learning competency mean is 3.78. Problem-solving power mean is 3.56. It was confirmed that the standard skewness of all measurement variables was plus minus 2 or less, and the standard kurtosis was plus minus 7 or less, forming a normal distribution. 4.2 Correlation analysis. The correlation among each measurement variable was analyzed. Look at Table 2, which summarizes the analysis results or correlations between the measures. The variables show a low positive correlation form from 0.195 to 0.4 449. The correlation coefficient between the two variables, if is less than 0.7, it can be determined that multi-collinearity does not exist. In particular, if the correlation coefficient is less than 0.4, it can be considered that the correlation is lower. Therefore, it was judged that all the variables assumed in this study had a low correlation with each other and could be analyzed as independent variables. 4.3 Measurement Model Verification. Confirmatory factor analysis was performed using the covariance matrix for the sub-questions that constitute its variable used in this study. As a result of the analysis, it was calculated as chi-square is 571.383. DF is 84, CFI is 0.961, NFI is 0.954. TLI is 0.951. RMSEA is 0.046. And it was found that pit criteria was satisfied. In addition, since several questionnaire items constitute one factor, convergent validity was confirmed to find out how representative each questionnaire question is and how well it explains the constituent factors. The centralized validity verification was conducted according to the method proposed by Pownell and Lockers, and as a result of analysis, the constituent reliability values of all variables were 0.7 or higher, and the average variance extraction index AVE was 0.55 or higher. Next, the verification of discriminant validity was also conducted according to the method proposed by Pownell or Locker. As a result of analysis, the AVE values of all variables are between 0.503 and 0.527, and the squared value of the correlation coefficient between the latent variable is 0.038 between 0.202 and 0.202. The discriminant validity of this study model could be verified. And 4.3 Measurement Model Verification. A was performed using the covariance matrix for the sub-question that constitute each variable used in this study. As a result of the analysis, it was calculated as chi-square is 571.383. Chi-square is 599.604. and degree of freedom is 18.8. GFI is 0.973. CFI is 0.96. NFI is 0.953. And TRI is 0.952. RMSEA is 0.045. And next, RMR is 0.038. Next, 4.4 Structural Model Verification. Table 4 shows the result of verifying the conformity of the structural model by using the maximum likelihood estimation method to find out the structural relationship between the variables assumed to achieve the purpose of this study. The index for evaluating the fitness of the measurement model is divided into an absolute fitness index, an incremental fitness index, and a simple fitness index. There is no selection, creation, or an absolute single index, so the researcher must consider the research purpose the present in the result. Analysis result chi-square is 581.383 and degree of freedom is 84. GFI is 0.973, CFI is 0.961, and NFI is 0.954. TRI is 0.951, RMSE is 0.046, RMR is 0.038. 4.4 Structural Model Verification. The structural model parameter estimation and significance verification results of this study are presented in the following Table 5 and Figure 1. And the detailed analysis results are follows. First, as a result of verifying the influence of self-understanding on the problem-solving ability of college freshmen, the size of influence is small, but has a statistically significant effect. Beta is 0.150. Second, self-directivity. Beta is 0.113, and learning competency. Beta is 0.17. Statistically and meaningfully mediate the relationship between the variables of self-understanding and problem-solving ability of college freshmen. Third, it was confirmed that the self-direction of college freshmen has a statistically significant effect on the learning competency, and the influence of self-understanding on the problem-solving ability is mediated by the self-direction and the learning competency. Therefore, the total effect of self-understanding on problem-solving ability is beta is 0.340. See the Table 5 and see the Figure 1. Fifth conclusion. The study investigated the structural relationship among self-understanding, self-directedness, learning competence and problem-solving ability of college freshmen and analyze the significant influence of self-understanding on problem-solving ability through self-direction and learning competency. As a result of analysis, the self-understanding of college freshmen had a significant positive effect on the core competency of college students. Problem-solving ability. In addition, it was confirmed that self-directedness and learning competency were statistically significant, mediating the relationship between these two variables. The result of study based on the analysis result are follows. First, it was found that a higher level of self-understanding of college freshmen has a higher problem-solving ability. This is the meaningful result that proved the importance of true self-understanding to college freshmen who were not able to experience self-understanding until college entrance due to the competitive structure of college entrance examination, but only have the opportunity to understanding themselves when they entered college. And in college, freshmen who have been learning through a limited educational environment and set curriculum, self-direction can be seen as a very important factor in carrying out college life in the future. Such self-direction acts as a factor that enables a diffuse and interactive school life based on experience and communication rather than limited learning that accumulates only fragmentary knowledge by designing and creating college life. Second, self-direction statistically mediates the relationship between self-understanding and problem-solving power. This is the same as the research result of Ju-kyoung Kim and Kyung-hee Lee that the self-direction of university students has a positive effect on core competencies. In addition to previous studies, this study found that self-direction based on self-understanding has a significant influence on learning competency and problem-solving ability, which is a core competency in college life. Through self-directed program, it will be able to provide meaningful help in reinforcing problem-solving skills, a core competency in college life. Third, learning competency statistically mediates the relationship between self-understanding and problem-solving ability, and double mediated the relationship among self-understanding and problem-solving ability by being influenced by self-direction. New students, freshmen, do not passively study the designated subject as on middle and high school courses before entering college, but rather self-directed and active learning about their chosen major and lectures they apply for, and learning and performing well. Learning competency as a student has a cause influence on problem-solving ability. This affects the self-directedness that allows college students to understand their strengths and weaknesses and establish goals and direction for what to do in college life. It is a result that it has a significant impact on the individual problem-solving ability of college students beyond the learning of such. This is an important point to be referred to in the development and operation of programs to be prepared in order to increase problem solving capabilities in university education. Through the though the uh, sorry, through the result of this study, it is understood that by developing and providing a self-understanding program for college freshmen, they can be a good educational strategy for carrying out self-directed school life, enhancing academic competencies and cultivating problem-solving competencies. Suggest in addition, university education should not be limited to the delivery of knowledge to the major, but should be conducted in a way that can be strengthen the problem-solving ability to solve social problems by itself through a teaching method that draws out students' self-understanding and self-direction. Thank you for your listening.